So, welcome again, Electricians. So today, I am just going to talk about break down my route of the day, and I'm starting from electronic standpoint, where capacitor is concerned, right? And what is a capacitor? Because electrician working on electronics and electrical work, motors and so forth, a single phase motor need a capacitor to start it, right? So you have to get familiar with capacitor. However, capacitor, it comes from the English language, and I don't know the etymology of it. Anyway, further on, I don't know if it's from it's Latin or from Greek. Anyway, I don't do that research. But anyway, capacitor. And what is a capacitor? Because we know as electricians, we're supposed to know, going forward, we're supposed to know what is a capacitor and the purpose of a capacitor, what it does, right? So, a simple definition here, an electrical components that stores electrical energy in an electric field, similar to a small battery. You know, say a battery also stores energy, but it's just a battery, it stores energy in a chemical form, and you utilize whatever energy is in the battery. And when that energy is exhausted, the battery is dead. Finished. But a capacitor now with back and forth, as long as it connects to an electrical circuit, it store that energy on one plate and release it to the other plate and continue the process, the electron flowing, right? So similar. So here we have the symbol for two capacitor here, right? So this is the simple symbol for a capacitor. This is a regular capacitor, and this is a polarized capacitor. And remember, I tell you that when we say polarized, that means the equipment has to be connected as it is, where the negative is and where the positive. So here is the positive terminal and this is the negative terminal. So this is a non-polarized capacitor, and this is a polarized capacitor, right? And capacitors is measured in farads, but normally it will be microfarads and nanofarads and picofarads if you're going to the very small amount, right? So that is capacitor is measured in farad, right? So as I say now, remember now, we live in capacitor, as I say, the electronic device that stores electrical energy, right? It has two plates, right? It have separated by an insulator in the middle, or if you want to call it a dielectric, right? So, so this is one plate, this is the other plate, and then, you have the dielectric in the middle that separate both plates, right? So coming down now, follow up you, capacity. Right? So what is capacity? Capacity is the ability to store something, right? You can't even say capacity the capacity of the stadium, the capacity, whether it is full capacity, half or empty, right? It has a capacity to take a certain amount of people, things like that. It can also be intellectually, right? We say that when they have the capacity to think and make decisions on your own, right, to make a informed decision, right? If you can do it, you have that, you have that intellectual and that mental capacity, to do, to carry out certain functions, right, to undertake your duty efficiently, right? So that is really capacity. So you have capacity, as I said, you're only able to do something. It's a part of you. It is in you, right? So we have it now, capacity. However, on the opposite now, and the same word of capacity now, if we put the prefix, right, in front of capacity now, and we get now incapacitated, right, is the opposite, right? You don't have it. It's not in you, right? Right, it's not in you. You don't have the capacity to think logically and, to carry out a task given to you and so forth, and don't have any problem down the line. So, from time to time, academics and people who will read, who will learn and things like that, can come up with a term, and then, it depends upon the conversation and things like that. So you have different, so I say, capacity of it incapacitated, you don't have it lock it. So you can be mentally incapacitated. That means mentally incapacitated, that means something wrong, with your, political correct, you might use certain terms and so forth. Something wrong with the mind. In Jamaica, some people talk about we lose a screw, I think like that, right? Mentally incapacitated, right? You can also be physically incapacitated. And that physically incapacitated, it can be, probably from accident, you might get a sprain or something like that. You break a leg or something. Your foot but physically, you're not able to do certain things. So the capacity is not there for you to do it, right? So you are physically incapacitated, right? Right. So can even come with another kind of one again too. Intellectually incapacitated, right? So if a person will probably know by telling a person they are intellectually incapacitated, right? First of all, you have to know what intellect mean, right? So say intellect, so you do the mind, thing like that. And you know that what incapacitated mean, you don't have it, you lack it. So you put it two of them together now, a person I say now, you are intellectually incapacitated to have, to think for yourself or to care out a sort of, you just don't have it, right? But if political right by yourself, well, the person is not bright, I think like that. But people might want to use a big word, I think like that. We say now, intellectually incapacitated, right? For that matter. So remember, so I just break it down, from capacitor. I say where capacitor come from, and we use it as electrical engineers, right? We use capacitor. We know it says it's an electrical device that stores electrical charge, right? So get the charge at after one plate is fully charged, then the electron move from one plate and discharge to the other plate and continue the electronic process of the of the circuit, right? So I would say capacity. So here capacity now, the ability to contain or hold something, right, or to function, to operate in a certain manner. So capacity there, and then if you don't have it, you put the prefix, the IN, and the capacity. We get to incapacitated, and then I would say you can be mentally incapacitated, you can be physically incapacitated. And last, right there, they have intellectually incapacitated. So this is just a little English, English tutorial in my own way today. And I said now, youngster electrician out there, right, especially those in the inner city and the lower socio-economic background, I can't stress on this. In order to make headway in this life, right, the legacy that our colonial master left with us is the English language. And if we don't take it up and use it, we will ever remain in the economic situation that we are in. So don't care what we want. So we want to be by 2030, how much we want to be a first world country or a prosperous country. Without mastering, get the grasp of the English, right? We won't reach there because the state of Jamaica should be a bilingual country. Because the Spanish were here before, the English come after, right? We have a lot of our neighbors speak Spanish there. Our North American neighbors English. Our last colonial masters, right? English. So we need to get a grasp of it and use it in order to if you're going to have that functioning and robust democracy what we're talking about, if you want to have it, we have to get a hold of the English language. So until next time, we're words of the day concern electricians and youngsters all over Africa, and especially those African countries that were previously colonized by Britain, right? Get a hold of the English language, right? Mix it with the French, because I know in some cases the French still have some, some old and some of these African countries too. And we try and master the world in this digital age that we are living in. So until next time, take care and continue to follow. Go on our platform, educational global platform that we're setting up there for youngsters across the world, and follow and take up the lesson. Until next time, take care.